Can you hear us?
They can hear us now.
Can't. Okay.
No, I had the microphone muted.
Okay. Sorry.
So they can hear us now.
Oh,
I
good.
couldn't get back to unmute the microphone. I kept clicking on the thing for the editor, and it wouldn't go. It just stayed on the scheduling thing. So I don't know what the hell was going on.
Can you hear us now?
They can hear us now.
No sound. Yes.
Yeah, they can hear us.
Okay. Very good. Just want to make sure.
It's lagging. So as soon as I clicked the thing, it said the microphone started, but they were still saying no sound because they couldn't hear us yet. So right now you should see us and you should hear us, and I can look at the screen. And I can see Eddie's butt, and I can see us. I can see my little spinning Conkys thing. So now that 3 minutes later, now that we got that out of the way, we can start our live.
Happy Saturday night, everybody.
Yeah.
Wow. What a weird week.
It was a fun week.
It was a fun week. Rough week. Crazy week.
Yeah, a little crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Where do you want to start?
Well, for me this week, it was just.
Right, look at that, my hair.
They love your hair.
No, it's all messed up.
All the guys think they could be doing magic
Yeah.
if they had your hair.
Well, that's how I do my magic, is because of all the hair.
Is it magic?
Yeah, it must
There
be.
you go. It's the hair. They tell them it's always the hair.
I can do things others can't, so it must be the hair. Anyway, go. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go
That's right. I was just gonna say it was me battling the elements this week. I'm sure everybody in this chat has experienced the wonderful vengeance summer had coming in with the 90 to 100 degree weather this week, and on top of it we had the humidity on top of the heat.
Oh, Mary Dale sent a $2 super
Mary
thing.
Dale.
Thank you, Mary Dale.
Thank you, Mary. Oop, there we go.
It should come up on the thing over here because it says 21 days, so it'll probably it'll probably come up and tell us.
Thank you for the cute super sticker. I mean, the highlight of this week definitely had to be Thursday night. We had Travis from What You Doing Willis is in town with Jeremy and George, and he wanted to do a little meetup. So it was arranged. We did a meetup at the Winking Lizard in Peninsula, Ohio, and it was a good time. I know for a fact Jerry was impressed when he found out how many people had showed up.
Yeah, well, what happened was he had reserved a small area of the restaurant for the people who want to meet, mainly Travis and Jeremy. He had reserved a small area of the restaurant. He had security go in first, and we were supposed to. He told us to meet at Hale's headquarters at 7 o'clock, but then he said the thing started at 7, so we got there about 6:30. And Roy and Rob and Travis were already there because they had auctioneer school that day and everything. So. And
then George was there, and she brought her son Joey.
So what was funny was, I think Mayor Dan called Jeremy.
Oh yes, Mayor Dan. He was,
and he's like, "Yeah, the place is full. There's no more seats.
There's no more seats."
So like, I wonder what we're gonna do when we get there. So
yeah, where we're gonna eat.
So we got down there, and there were there were places we could sit. I think what happened was when maybe when it got sort of full, they stopped seating people in there that wasn't us. Mm-hmm. So, I kind of felt bad for anybody who was there sitting in that area, didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah. So, the one.
It's not, we weren't loud and obnoxious. Just we were, moving about and talking to each other and everything.
It was obvious something was going on, and all I can say is the fans. If you're in the chat and you're there, you guys are wonderful. We met some great people.
There were some people that drove from Michigan, Tennessee, West Virginia, of course, different places in Ohio, and I'm thinking that was it. Was there anybody there from any further away?
No, and it was basically 2 hours because the restaurant closed at 9, so we had 2 hours.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to meet everybody.
Well,
It was kind of like,
well, we get up and start to move around, and then we
get-
stop and talk to somebody, and then we were standing there talking to them for a while, and
Now you turn around, you're talking. It was just, and it was just wonderful. We
you get caught up in conversation with people, and
next thing now, oh, we're getting kicked out.
Yeah.
you got. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah.
We're closing at 9. So, let's see. Some of the people that I remember. Okay, we met one group. Amber, Dina, and Chad. They came up from the south.
the South.
North Canton area, so we got a chance to meet them. Sweet group. And of course, Mayor Dan and Mrs. Mayor Dan.
Well, we actually
there,
sat and ate dinner with Mayor Dan
and them
his wife.
because we had to find a place to sit. We couldn't all sit as a group because of the nice group that showed up. So we were sitting with whoever. Just Jack and his parents were there.
Yeah, they were sitting across from us.
And we met Our Dream, Our Purpose. They were there. We got to talk to them for a little bit. Mr. DeWitty was there. I don't know if he's in the chat.
Yeah,
he's in chat. Mr.
yeah.
DeWitty was there.
I can't highlight comments like I can on the stream.
Yeah, and we got to talk to him. And of course, he showed me pictures of his little puppy Sunshine. And then there was some fans. The one that came from Tennessee, Mama.
Is it Mama C? I got it written down.
I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Sassy Mama.
Sassy
Mama. She was the one that came all the way up from Tennessee, and she gave us a little bit of gifts. She gave me this cute little mouse pen, Avon pen, and it says "Hi Cutie" on there. So she gave me this little pen, and then
she gave me a couple little. Well, actually, this one thing. She gave me a die-cast tractor, and she also gave me this keychain, and it's a Matchbox cement mixer turned into a keychain.
And of course, she had a box of other things that she wanted conculations on, so she brought those up, and Conky looked at those.
Yeah, the conculations cost you, and this was, I charged her a keychain. No, it wasn't like that. But it's kind of funny because Jeremy had just given me a Corvette keychain.
Yeah, you got
and
that.
I put the trailer keys on that. I don't know. Up until Thursday, I didn't know what keychain I was going to put my cement mixer keys on. But now I have a keychain for my cement mixer. So
well, that's good. Very good. So, and you gave her some calculations, and then she gave you something else too. Do you remember that little train? That little.
Oh yeah, where is that thing?
I don't know. It was cool because it was obviously it was a die-cast train.
It was a die-cast train made by the
Mattel.
same makers as Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, and it looks
around the same time as the
In fact, the bomb it said First Wheels, so we're thinking that Hot Wheels must have had a little series of die-cast vehicles because this was a little bigger. Obviously, they were thinking, put things in their mouth, so they made it a little bigger. But it said First Wheels.
I don't know where that thing is.
I remember.
We did grab it, correct?
I'm pretty sure we did.
It's probably in the car.
It could be in the car.
It might be in the car.
And then one fan, and I'm so sorry I can't remember her name. She made a donation to the flea market cause because we are planning to go to the flea market on Friday. So I got some picture frames and some things that she gave me. And thank you. I'm so sorry if you're watching. I can't remember your name. It was just so much activity going on. It was just
there were a lot of people there, and you would talk to somebody, and then you talk to somebody else, and you talk to somebody else. And then you're trying to keep all the names straight. And I'm horrible with names anyway.
Right. And
I would recognize anybody there if they were right here in front of me, and I could, I would know you from your face, but I just can't remember.
Yeah, we met Dawn Gibson too, which is really sweet because I know we've seen her in our chat a few times. It was a wonderful event. Everybody had a good time. I think Travis from What You Doing Willis, I think was just he felt the love. People,
and
really Jeremy George, and
up.
then it was so cool. It was cool for Joey to kind of see his mom getting a little bit of that fan look in people's faces. Oh, it's George, So it was a wonderful evening. The food was good. In fact, I had leftovers for lunch yesterday, and it was just a good event. No problems. Everything was great. The one waitress, there was a waitress assigned to us, and bless her heart, we made sure to tip her well because she didn't know what to expect, and then she just, I don't know how she kept it all going because.
Well, she's a professional. She's a good waitress.
Yeah, and like I said, unfortunately, we just never. It was kind
well,
of
to her, it wasn't anything. It wasn't any different than
a Saturday night.
Just a busy Saturday night.
Yeah.
Only most of the people were like up and walking around, so
and
she
cameras
had
here
to.
And there,
So what she had to do when it came time to settle up was she had to these people aren't sitting at their table anymore. Where are they?
Yeah.
So she had to find us. So. And I felt bad for her because she handed me the check, or the check, and I had a major brain fart. Like, well, you got a pen? I don't know whether she thought I was offering an autograph or what, but I'm like, you got a pen? She says, well, no, we haven't cashed out yet. Like,
okay. I thought I signed something.
I had, in my mind, I thought I had already given her the card,
yeah.
and I just had to, put the tip on there and sign the bill. That's how scattered my brain was Thursday.
Yeah, I know. And there was like we were like in an L-shaped area that was kind of separated by a wall. So we got to everybody down here, and as we were getting up, going towards the other side, there was a table of people there. We got to talking to them, and then by then we were running out of time. I never did make it back to the what would you call that?
The pit.
Not the pit, the side there that were facing the street. They were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we never. Unfortunately, we just didn't get a chance to get back there. But it was a wonderful event. Everything went out well. We just want to say thank you to the fans because it's like, wow, I don't think we were expecting that. He probably thought maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people would show up, but no, there was a nice group, and thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if you attended in person, thank you. If you attended by watching one of the lives that was going on, I think Jeremy did a live. Rob started AA from there.
Oh yeah, we did.
And of course, Travis. I don't know if Travis was live or if he was just filming.
I think he may have been filming, but yeah, because I kind of looked to see if he had a video out yet. But I know he and Jeremy had some other things they were doing this weekend, so probably next week that video may come out. Probably next week.
Yeah.
But
so we did that Thursday.
That was Thursday. That was the highlight of the week.
And Lenny sent me a picture. I was trying to. We went back to see if I can find it. Oh no, it wouldn't be there. It'd be in messages. Come down, Lenny.
All right, I'll be right back. I gotta do something. Oh, I have. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I wanted to show that.
Yeah, that was funny. I'll be right back, guys.
So when we were on. Look at his faces. When we were on AA, George has these crabs that she brought out and was putting it on our heads. So this is what this was the scene back at Hale's headquarters on AA. So thank you, Lenny, for sending me that. He must have screenshotted that on his computer. So. Well, all right, Noreen went upstairs and took the dog with her. So, okay. Yeah, Caroline says he was just filming Thursday and it's just coming out today for him, so I'll have to check out that video. And what was funny was when we were driving back to, we all piled in 2 cars from Hale's headquarters to the restaurant and then back. And I drove Noreen and Rob and Travis to and from the restaurant. And we were following George and Jeremy and them, and Roy was in the other car. And I was just trying to keep up with them. And I think it was too much for Travis. But we got there and when we came back, I didn't realize the driving arrangement was coming back. I didn't realize Mayor Dan had driven Jeremy back, and we were sitting there waiting for the gate to open, and then here comes this car like out of the driveway. Like, now who is that? We didn't know, so we went up backing out, and we were trying to catch the gate. If I'd have known Jeremy was there, I'd just call him, said open the gate, but I guess it doesn't matter. But help Jane. Jane says help. Huh. But anyway, yeah, Travis had a fun. I think my riding with me for Travis was like riding on a roller coaster. But well, I'll have to check out his video to see what his comments were on that, because like I said, I was busy driving. So anyway, we did that Thursday, and then Friday, I went and hung out with Rob again at one of the houses. Now, I don't know whether his first video came out from that or not, but there was another cool house that he's helping the owner with. He's doing the auction, and a lot of old toys. He asked me a couple times, he says, is this cooler than the Berea house? And I thought about it this morning, and you guys saw the video for the Berea house, and you may have seen the auctions on his website. That was a lot of, well, I don't say a lot of newer stuff. There was newer stuff there, but it was like 70s and newer. This house, there's a lot of 70s and older. So I was hanging out with him Friday. I got up Friday morning really early. I had to go to the local pull apart and get a part for the car that I recently bought, and it was a big part. It was actually a piece of a frame, and so I was spending some time crawling around underneath that thing trying to get it loose. But I was there from 8 o'clock till about 10:15. And when I got out of there, I called Rob. I said, "You still at this house? Because I want to come, help you out with it." He said, "Oh yeah, we're still here. We'll be here. Don't worry about it." So I went there. I got there about, I don't know, 10:30 or so, maybe 20 till 11. And we were upstairs above. It wasn't the garage. I want to say the garage, but it wasn't the garage. It was like a building out back, like a big 2-story shed. That we didn't know it was 2-story when we were there, or we may have known and didn't think to look in the attic. Well, there's this hidden, really skinny set of stairs. I mean, one more cheeseburger before going there, and I wouldn't have been able to get up. Okay, but this little skinny staircase going like up this steep staircase to this attic of this building, and it was full of old Tonka and Smith Miller and Buddy L and I just can't name all the stuff that was up there. So and there was a lot of raccoon poop. So and it was like 90 degrees in the shade. So we're up in this hot attic full of raccoon poop.
Did it
sweating?
stink?
It did not stink because it must the stink must just, it didn't stink. It was just
petrified.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was there with them for probably 4 hours, maybe 3-4 hours, and that was a lot of fun pulling all that. I mean, we were spotting like slot cars, and it was like, "Oh, Rob, you're gonna sell this," and
oh no! So this means you're gonna be hanging on.
Rob's
upcoming auctions.
Well, I don't know. There are auctions probably the way they're setting this up because they're already setting up the auctions from the stuff we got a couple weeks ago when I was there.
Oh,
so this stuff might be even further down the road, but there's a lot of stuff that I want, a lot of stuff I'm going to be bidding on.
Thanks, Rob.
And yeah,
because you had to go up there to the warehouse on Monday to pick up the stuff you bought.
Well, I picked up the stuff I bought
last Saturday.
When I was up, now what did I do Monday? Oh yeah, I had a thing for my day job. I had an install to do.
Yeah.
So I'll get into it. I guess I'll get into it. I don't want to bore you guys talking about car parts, but there was a bit of blessing going on there. So Monday I went up and I had to do an install for a customer of mine, some new equipment that they had bought. And then I went to Rob's warehouse, and it was hot that day too. I mean, it was really hot.
Honey, it was hot all week.
Oh my God, it was hot.
It was hot
and
Monday,
I picked up the stuff from our last auction thing, and I put that, mostly that was like inside. I was stuffing around like the back seat of the truck area and stuff like that. Of course, I'm still working on the truck's air conditioner. It doesn't work yet.
No, folks. This is how it was this week. This is how it was this week. there are 5 cars. The only cars that have working air conditioning are my new car he's been working on that's going for state inspection on July 11th. And then
the smashed one that I just
then
bought.
The smashed one.
Yeah, they both blow ice cold air. The ones that we actually drive, no.
No.
So
no.
I went from there to the pull apart it's called Cleveland West, so it's over there it's like 15 minutes from where Rob's warehouse is. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go start buying parts of this car, and they had a car that I could pull the rubber front bumper off, and that's the only piece I wanted off that particular car there. So, and it was hot, and I had my tool bag with me, everything I needed to pull this bumper cover off. It's a heavy tool bag. I go wandering back there, and there's you got it like you're going up and down the rows, and I found a couple cars that the bumpers were either already gone off of or they were smashed and I didn't want them. It's like, I just got to find this car and get the hell out of here. So I leaned into a car just to get the sun off my face, and I looked up that car on my phone because it was the same kind of car I was looking for. And I said, okay, this is row whatever it was, 503. And then I looked a couple rows down. I saw another car that I knew how to look up. That was row 505. So I figured, okay, it's the car I needed was in row 500. So I'm wandering down, and I'm about ready to pass out from the heat, literally. And you can joke about it all you want to, but I'm about ready to just fall over.
You were really getting ready to pass out.
And I come up on this car, and there's no front bumper on it. Like, oh, God, I walked all the way back here and just wandered around for nothing. Well, here's the thing. I don't think I would have had the ability, the physical ability to move or to like lay on the ground and pull all the clips and all the stuff I would have needed to pull out to get the bumper off. And I'm like, all right, while I'm standing here and this tool bag's weighing on me, like I'm just gonna look inside this car and see if there's anything in there just sitting there that I can buy that I might want to like resell or something, because there's certain parts on these cars you can buy at these pull-aparts and resell for good money. I walked over to the driver's side and opened the door and I looked in the driver's seat. I didn't see anything, and I glanced in the back, and there was the bumper just sitting there, pretty as could be. No, and here's the thing. I wanted the bumper, the grill, and one fog light. I didn't want 2 fog lights. I just wanted one because I already had one. I reached around the back. I opened the tailgate, which, again, in and of itself was a miracle because they have electronic tailgates on. Without the battery, you can't open them. It was closed, but it wasn't latched. So I flipped the thing open, pulled this thing out, and it had exactly what I wanted on it. So I just tucked it under my arm and went and bought it and left.
So did you pass out?
I did not pass out, but I had to get in that truck and get moving, or I was gonna,
Yeah.
And I had water in the truck, so I drank some of the water I had in the truck, but I didn't take the water into the yard with me. But that I considered a blessing. The part I wanted was somebody already took it off, and there it was sitting there. I didn't even really need to take my tool. If I'd have known what I was going to find when I went back there, I wouldn't have even taken the tool bag back.
Yeah, Monday was a bad day. Because for me, what's been the rough part of all this week is if I'm going in and out of the air conditioning, it was humid. I think that was the worst part. Not so much the heat, it was humid. And I get out of an air conditioned house, I get into my car, I have no air conditioning, so I got the windows, so I'm in and out of the air conditioning. And I did grocery shopping that day, and I admit to, when I came home Monday after running around going grocery shopping and everything, I was changing clothes. They were so soaked.
Yeah, one day this week I took 2 showers, went through 4
or 5 t-shirts.
Yeah.
I think it went through 3 t-shirts the other day. I remember that. But I washed a load of t-shirts because he was wet, sweating them out. And I had awful sinus pressure I was dealing with every day. If I had just stayed in the house and did not leave this house the whole week, I would have been fine. But going in and out, in and out, in and out, I would get that sinus pressure, and it was a rough week. It was. I didn't get as much done as I would have liked to have gotten done, but it was. I'm just kind of glad that things are kind of get back to what normal weather is like around here this time of year.
And then another blessing I had this week was I got the car that I just bought, the one with the crack up at the front, into the garage, and I put it on the lift. And the wheels were pointing, like the front wheels were pointing in, but I was still able to steer it. I got it in on the lift, and I lifted it up, and I discovered that I was going to have to put a rack and pinion on, which meant that the front subframe had to come off. And I started looking at the frame, the subframe, and it was rusty. And I started poking at it, and it had holes in it. I was like, I got to put a subframe on this car if I'm going to fix it. Mm-hmm. Well, you can buy them new from Subaru. They're about $800, but they will not sell them to you because they don't want to ship them, and they're all down in Texas. If you take your car to a Subaru dealer and have them do it, it's thousands of dollars, and they'll ship a subframe to a dealer, but they won't ship it to sell it. It's thousands of dollars, and at that point, the car just wouldn't have been worth fixing. So I started looking at the pull apart in Akron, and they had they had two candidates there where I could pull the subframe off of. And one was a 6-cylinder, and 6 cylinders leak, so I figured that was going to be the best one. They leak oil. So I figured that was going to be the best one, because they leak oil all over the frame. So I walked up to the 6-cylinder, and I looked at it, and it was passable. I would have used it. It was rusty, which was surprising, which meant it probably didn't leak oil. And I said, well, I'll go back and look at the other one, but it's an older one. It's a year older than mine, and it's not going to be as good, but I'll go back and look at it. So I walked back there, and I found it. And I wasn't even looking for the subframe at that point. I was just looking to see if some of the other parts were acceptable. And I went back there, and I found it, and I looked at it, and it still has this sticker on it from when it was replaced, probably a year ago. No rust, no rot, practically a brand new subframe, just waiting for me to take it. I bought this thing I got the subframe and the rack and pinion for $200. I saved over $1,000 that morning when I went there, before I went to El Prado, when I went there and pulled it off.
Didn't it come off easy for you?
And it came off easy because it had just been put on there.
Yeah, so that's why you were able to make it with Rob, because you didn't have to do a whole lot of,
But you know how rare that is to find? First of all, these cars only sit in the pull aparts for like 90 days, if that. And this one had already been there for a while, and I mean, it's probably coming up on the next few weeks. They're gonna, they just take them and crush them after, a certain amount of time. It's almost like, I want to say like winning the lottery, but you got like a 1 in 1,000 chance of finding a brand new subframe on a car sitting there. Like they just put this thing on, then they junked it,
Well, things were going in your favor that day, because you guys, to know he really, truly wanted to go up to that house where Rob and his crew.
Yeah, I really wanted
to go look. He liked what he saw the last time. He wanted to go back and look again, and you really wanted to go up there. And of course, you guys have a little fun doing it, and And he was just, I was still in bed. I remember you leaving. He left. He did leave around 8 o'clock.
No, I left about 7:30
to get there.
And I got there, I got to the pull apart in 15 minutes, and I waited for the doors to open. I went in. It was nice because I went in there and, I pulled the I don't want to start getting technical, but I didn't just take the subframe. The control arms were new. The sway bar was new. There was a lot of new stuff there. And I just peeled off all the stuff that they didn't replace when they replaced the subframe. And I packed up all my tools into this big tool bag. And I had just I had spent $250 on this brand new impact wrench, battery powered impact wrench, because I didn't want to have any troubles when I got there. And this thing, it was a Harbor Freight deal. And this thing was amazing. It was like holding an earthquake in your hands. But anyway,
you were ready to
I got all the tools, and they have these like wheelbarrows you can get back here with. So I put all the tools in the wheelbarrow, and I rolled the wheelbarrow over to the subframe's leaning against the front of the car, and I rolled the wheelbarrow over there, and I just leaned it onto the wheelbarrow and slid it on it, and have to pick it up or anything. But by the time I got back up front and got this thing in the doors, I'm like, I was like I was the other day at the other place. I just wanted to get out to my truck, drink a gallon of water. And the guy that was there, what they normally do is they pick every little piece on here you got to pay for. this guy said, basically charged me for 2 pieces. This what's called a subframe with suspension and a rack and pinion, and a different person helping me there may have resulted in me having to pay more. But this guy kind of took it easy on me and really gave me a good deal on what I was buying.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you because, yeah.
And here's the funny part. And then I discover, after watching some more YouTube videos, that I don't have to take the subframe off to fix the bent tie rod. I can actually replace what's called an inner tie rod. I didn't think they were replaceable on this particular car, and they are. Mm-hmm. So all I really have to do is buy a $30 tool, and I can just replace the part that's bent. I don't have to take the subframe off. I'm still going to replace it, just I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just going to fix the car, and then when it gets rustier, I'll put the new subframe on.
Yeah, because that car's got to go through a state inspection.
It's got to go through a state inspection too. And I don't want to start replacing. Now, I did get a receipt. I could put the frame on,
right? Show
them the appropriate receipt. I just don't want them poking around and
yeah.
I'm just going to do the minimum and then get it past the inspection, and then I'll work on it from there and do what I have to do.
Yeah. So we survived the week. Yeah, you did take 2 showers. I think yesterday you took 2 showers.
There was a couple days I took 2 showers.
Gone through with
went through
clothes,
several sets of clothes and.
I know. I had
like you come in, it's like I'll peel my t-shirt. And here, feel this. This is like a pound heavier than the new one.
When I took the basket down yesterday of all your t-shirts, some of them were still wet.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all washed, they're all cleaned and folded and put away. So, but that was this week, and like I said, I think the heat wasn't so much as it was the humid on top of it. That was, and then we had little bursts of rain here and there, and
yeah, well, it really rained like last night.
Yeah,
it rained pretty good.
Yeah,
and it cooled it down.
And
a little bit.
It rained this morning a little bit too. Yeah. So, but
Joanne Miller. Is it Miller? Joanne Nealer.
Nealer. Okay.
I can't see.
The print's
really small. And then to top it off,
really small.
It appears as though YouTube has taken some of your names and added like a 4-digit number. So Pamela Lynn is now Pamela Lynn 6051. Beth Kurtz is Beth Kurtz 54. So I think, and Sweet Rage is here. I've got to answer her email.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the address will be coming your way.
Yeah. I saw it, but it was like I saw it while I was on my phone, and I couldn't really answer it then. But yeah, I'll
you'll get a reply tomorrow. Yes, but
she made a very amazing offer, and we'll talk about it when we have something to show, right. Because the
we
show
saw
thing
her in there, and yeah, we got your email. We were talking about right before we got down here, and you will get an answer. And
so I will hint at something. Hopefully, sometime in the very near future, the state of the bread will be. We gave it to Sweet Rage. But we're going to do the state of the bread. It's right here. You guys put your guesses in as what you think.
Oh, John Smith. Yeah, we met you. Yeah, we met you. We met John Smith at the. We met him too. Okay. Yeah. Just trying to acknowledge everybody we got a chance to see and meet, and.
So you guys go ahead and put the.
State of the bread. How much bread does Conky have or not have, or maybe all has? Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
Last week, the state of the bread was bagels. And this week, we'll just have to see what it is. We got half gone, half loaf.
$8 and...
4 slices left, 2 pieces missing, half the bread.
It worked out. I did the
Third
math
left?
On it.
What?
For the half dozen donuts and the half dozen bagels I got from Dunkin' Donuts last week.
Joan says small loaf left.
$1.39.
Edward says
$1.39 per each.
1 2/3 gone. 2 slices left. 4 slices. Lenny says full.
I love
Sweet Rage says butter. Oh, we have to butter Sweet Rage's bread somehow. We'll have to figure that out.
Butter.
Do you remember the commercials of the butter top where they show the knife going down the center of the bread and the butter going on there?
Maybe that's what
that's what we'll do. I don't know.
We'll try it. Yeah, after
the worst thing to have, we give her disgusting bread. So 3/4 of a loaf, half gone, crumbs,
That's Eddie's choice because that meant Eddie got to it. Oh,
Pamela says, congratulations on over 15,000 subscribers.
We have over 15,000 subscribers.
15. Yeah.
15000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. Woody says half. Michelle says
I
quarter
can't
left.
wait till I get a chance to actually meet Sunrise in person. Sunrise. Sunshine in person. His little puppy. You got
doggy.
You got to meet Sunshine.
Yes,
she was
I
just
did.
a little wiggle worm when you were
Half a sliver.
Half a sliver.
Rhonda? Yeah, okay.
Hey,
That's about that could be. Sugar says, I'm not road tripping anytime soon.
That's okay.
Well, when you do road trip, there will be a loaf of bread here for you.
Yeah.
All right, so Troy said half loaf. All right, let's show the bread. And it is about 2 slices left.
And
right
the
there.
heels. I'll eat
And
the heels.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, so I'll slice off 2 slices of bread. We'll have the 2 heels. And the sliver thing, you can see the 1 heel out. That's about right for that. So tomorrow I'll slice off 2 slices, and then she'll have the
heels. So that means we'll probably have some scrambled eggs.
Yeah, that'll be a scrambled egg breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be at tomorrow, and maybe some.
Michelle says, "Would love to meet you both." Well, we were at a meet and greet this week, and the next one we'll probably be at the next one too. Maybe we'll do a meet and greet when we hit, I don't know, 25,000.
50,000.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll ever happen. Because we're not really.
We're the mom and pop. We're the mom and pop channel. That's what we're, the mom and pop shop, mom and pop channel.
Have a meet and greet at the traffic light at the corner.
At the McDonald's.
Yeah, at the McDonald's.
We gotta have it at the McDonald's.
Oh, God. Yeah, it'll be like a booth for 4 or something. You know what I mean?
We'll all meet in the playroom.
Yeah.
Throw the balls on the top of each other. We'll have games.
What?
We'll have games. We'll buy cheeseburgers, and everybody could peel off the pickle, and they'll see how far they can throw it. And then we'll try to see if we can get kicked out of the McDonald's by.
I've been kicked out of McDonald's before.
I know you have been.
I don't know if I've ever told a story about us getting kicked out of McDonald's. This is before I even met you.
Oh God, this is back before you met me. Yeah. That's been a while.
So I'll tell you the story about how I got kicked out of McDonald's.
And I wasn't in the picture, guys.
No, this is before I even met you. This is before I met you. Me and my buddy Rod used to go bowling. At the time, it was called the Coliseum.
Yes, Sweet Rage. We will definitely go to the Arthur Treachers. It's in our neck of the woods.
Only one left.
It's in our neck of the woods, actually, so we will not have to go far.
So we were at this. Well, we used to go bowling at the it's called the Coliseum. It's something else now. It was on corner 224 and Route 91. Okay. The bowling alley is still there, but it's called something else.
Oh, it's been 3 names since then.
There's still the McDonald's is still there, right where it always was. It's probably been torn down and rebuilt 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Then.
Oh yeah. We're talking about the early 80s.
We went
guys.
bowling at the Coliseum. It was me and Rod, and probably Jack Arnold, which was my neighbor, Rod's cousin. And then there were 3 girls that were friends of Jack. My buddy Jack was dating one of them, and it was her and 2 of her friends all went bowling.
So it was a gang of
We weren't. And the only 2 that were dating was Jack and this other girl. The other we were all just knew each other.
Just being teenagers.
So we went bowling, and then we went across the street to McDonald's. And I'll never forget, me, Jack, and the 3 girls were all throwing our fries at each other. Rodney, all he wants to do is eat his fries. So he's eating his fries. Finally, he gets sick of getting hit with these fries. He picks up like his last French fry, pulls it back, gets ready. He's like, got it back here. And they must have had some sort of security guard or some cop there. Walks around the corner and sees us. Fries all over the floor, all over the table, the seats. I mean, they're a mile away. They're all over the place. We must have ordered extra fries just so we could throw them at each other, okay? The only fry left in anybody's hands is the one in his hand, and he's got it back here. And the cop walks around the corner, looks at him, and says, "We don't throw fries in McDonald's." He's sitting there. He's got this fry in his hand. He goes, "We don't." Just that innocent. He's got a fry back here in his hand. We don't. They kick him out. The rest of us, they don't kick out.
Oh my god.
Somehow they thought he was responsible for these fries all over the friggin' place. So when they kicked him out, we all left with him.
Oh god, I can.
But I still laugh about that. I don't know if he remembers that or not. I'll have to ask him next time.
I think he does.
He probably
I think
does.
you guys have talked about it when we gotten together.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that was the time we got kicked out of McDonald's for throwing fries.
Throwing fries. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Edward says, "I started a food fight in the cafeteria in college. They had to shut it down for 3 days to get the place."
Hey guys.
And all I did was fling one little single pea with a spoon. That's all it takes, man.
Take a guess. What am I?
That's it. And no sweet rage. He didn't even throw the fry that he had in his hand.
He didn't throw any fry.
Nope, did not throw any fries.
He got busted. Kicked out of it. Yeah, poor Rod. You guys.
And here's my take on it. You don't want your fries thrown. Serve them hot and fresh. Because the only reason we would have been throwing the fries is if they weren't any good. You know, McDonald's fries, first of all, they're not good. I don't eat McDonald's food anymore except for like maybe once a month or every other month. I'll be hungry and it'll be okay. But McDonald's fries are either tasty or they're not.
McDonald's fries are the best.
If they're hot and
right
warm.
out of the fryer, freshly salted, scooped, put in the package, and handed right to you.
Yeah.
Right then and there. When they are hot, they are the most wonderful things to eat.
At least they're tasty. They're not good for you.
When they start sitting around for a while and that oil starts to make them nice
and you go there and you pay.
Yeah.
You know, 2 people go there and it's $22 for a couple of value meals. You know,
yeah.
These people hand you these cold fries like no, I'm paying good money for this. You know, put your phone down, get your ass over there, drop some fries, and.
I remember back in the day when we were dating, the big deal was $3 value meals. Remember that? We would go out. We ate a lot.
Yeah, for $6 you get
yeah, we could go sit down and eat a burger, fries, and something to drink for $6 and some tax change, you know. But now, oh my goodness, not even one value meal costs that. You're looking.
Yeah, you're looking to get a beer sandwich for that.
Oh my gosh, I think.
Oh, okay. So there must be an Arthur Treacher's in Cleveland too, because Mr. DeWitty says there's one on Rockside Road.
Well,
I thought the one in by us was the only one left because there used to be one on Talmadge Avenue. I think the building's still there and they haven't done anything with it. It's still sitting there. Or it might be a used car lot now. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember the Arthur Treachers. Yeah. Love Arthur Treachers.
I
think that place stays in business because there's a ton of us Catholics around here when Lent comes. There we go.
See, I don't eat fish.
No,
but I'll go there and get the chicken
tenders, yeah.
And their, what do you call it? Their, what do they call it? Hush puppies?
Hush puppies, yeah.
They're hush puppies.
Yeah. But yeah, I think what was it last Friday? Me and my stepmom were out doing something. Then we stopped at a Burger King. She just wanted a bacon cheeseburger, and I wanted a couple little burgers. So we were hungry, and I walked out of there with the Bacon King value meal to get the drink, and I got the fries, and I ordered 2 little cheeseburgers, and I got a cup for water because my stepmom just wanted water. It was $20-some bucks. $20-some bucks.
I had to stop at a Burger King. Wasn't it last week? I think it was a week before that. Maybe I don't know when it was. Recently. And I ordered 2 plain cheeseburgers, a piece of Hershey Sundae pie, and a frozen Coke, and it was $10.33.
Yeah, it's not.
Now I will, if I have to eat fast food, I'll try to at least get Burger King or Wendy's or something like that. I just try to avoid McDonald's like the plague. Yeah. But even at that, I try not to eat fast food more than 2 or 3 times a month.
And particularly this time of year, eating it, oh my goodness, your stomach just revolts. But yeah.
Eddie says you order without the salt. They'll have to make it fresh and then order salt.
Yay. Well, you know, funny thing I found about McDonald's French fries is they do have sugar on them. There's a lot of things that you don't think there's sugar in it, and there's sugar in there. Pasta sauce, sugar's in there. You know, everything's got sugar.
I remember Red Barn chicken.
Red Barn!
Was Red Barn a local thing, or was that all over the place?
I remember the Red Barn near me growing up. It is since long gone.
Okay, put in the chat, Red Barn. Was there a Red Barn restaurant by you? That was actually, it looked like a barn. It was a red barn.
It was a red barn. There was one near me. There's one.
There was one over here that's now a car wash.
Yeah.
Burger
King sucks. But yeah, Red Barn, Burger Chef and Jeff. That was one that was around here.
Now Burger Chef, we had one around here that.
Off the circle.
No, we had one off the circle.
Off the circle,
but remember Burger Chef, the burgers got really small and they got kind of gross. And then there was one on West Market Street that they redid the restaurant. It was still a Burger Chef, but you go to get there, you get a cheeseburger. And I feel sorry when I walked in there and ordered 3 of them. Because, I mean, they were huge. They were really, really good.
Yeah.
The fries were good. I mean, for a short time, that restaurant was just, I mean, you would drive there to get their burgers and fries. They were that good. Mm-hmm. And I was lucky enough to work down the street from them. So when I worked at Vanderveer, I used to go there okay, Red Barn in San Jose, California, and Reno.
Okay,
yeah,
so
okay.
they were
so they were a national chain then, I guess.
Yeah, it's just after a while there's got to be so many.
Well, I don't know why. I mean, there are no Red Barns anymore in business that I know of.
I think they had corn dogs there.
They might have.
I mean, everyone has a little something different from the other ones, but yeah, oh my gosh. I mean, we're just at that point in our lives now, Lee, our Conky, that we, we've been around a little while, and.
But what's funny is you can be driving down the street and see what was a Red Barn still. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Oh, that was a Red Barn, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a car wash now. It's a this. It's a that. It's the other thing.
I think the one on the north side of Akron, I think is last time I saw it right there by the Swensons.
Yeah, that's all painted white now, and
it's like a dress barn or something.
Yeah,
clothes are in there. Maybe it's
yeah. They still got to use the word barn in the name because it is a barn. You know what I mean?
But oh my gosh.
What other restaurants were around here that went out?
Oh, Ponderosa.
Ponderosa.
Oh god.
You know what I said about Ponderosa? You might as well just, even if you're gonna get their salad bar, but especially if you eat their meat, just instead of 4 chairs and a table, have there be 4 toilet seats, and you just sit on them as you would sit on the toilet and eat. Because that's how fast that stuff went through.
Oh my god!
You just keep eating.
My favorite was the one time. Oh, my dad loved that. My dad loved Ponderosa, and my dad loved the Golden Corral because of the variety.
Oh my god, the Golden Corral!
But Ponderosa, he loved to go to that Ponderosa, and we went with him one time, and we were up at the salad bar.
There was somebody grazing at the salad bar. They were literally just standing there eating.
Yeah, they get stuff in their bowl, pick up, eat it, and then go down. But it's like, really? No class, no manners. You don't do that, Crazy.
I said it looked like they were grazing.
Sizzler, yeah, Sizzler. Oh yeah, we used to go. I remember going there a couple times when I was a kid. Sizzlers, they had the different cows and the bull faces and yeah. I think it was in the mall. Or was that somebody else I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
It was in the mall. There was a steakhouse in the mall.
And there used to be
remember there were malls, guys? Oh.
I mean, there used to be a restaurant called the Brown Derby.
Oh yes, the Brown Derby.
Is it still the Brown Derby? They changed it.
I think it's still. I think there's still Brown Derbies around.
They sort of went out and then they came back.
They some of them kind of turned into those the steakhouses that the
Roadhouse. Yeah, they turned into Roadhouse.
The Roadhouses. So
but back when they were the Brown Derby, my dad knew a guy that either started the Brown Derby or had a chance to open. My dad had a chance to go in on a Brown Derby restaurant with somebody and didn't do it. And I don't know which one it was. Now there used to be a Brown Derby
There's a couple brownies
by us. Yeah, those
back
are all
in
gone.
the day. But yeah, that was
We
the
got
place
Waffle
to go.
Houses.
Waffle houses. Yeah, we got some waffle houses around.
I haven't been to a Waffle House in a long time.
I remember
We have a waffle maker somewhere.
somewhere.
I'll have to find it.
You and your
I
waffle.
think it's up in the garage somewhere. I'd like to figure out how to make it, but it's like 220 volts. So we'd have to figure out
York
how to.
Steakhouse. Yep. I remember York Steakhouse. Oh my gosh. Oh, just trying to think what other restaurants that were around. I worked at a Hardee's. Hardee's are closing up around here. And you know what? That was when we were down in when we went down to Half a Mill time ago. And we stopped over for the night. I forget where
We stopped to see Lenny.
Lenny and
so
his
we were
family,
somewhere around that area.
and right across the way from the hotel
hotel
where we were at was a Hardee's. And I thought, why not? Let's go to a Hardee's. I haven't been there in years. And, I went in there and I said, hey, where's the raisin biscuits? Oh, we don't serve those anymore. You don't serve the raisin cinnamon biscuits anymore? I mean, that was the cornerstone of their breakfast menu, was the cinnamon raisin biscuits. They would have the biscuits with the raisin and the cinnamon in it, and they had the icing. And I'm like, well, no wonder. They've changed their menu to the point,
Yeah, you don't even recognize them anymore.
I mean, the one I worked at eventually was closed. In fact, the Burger Chef was in the building that eventually became Hardee's, and that's where I worked in the mid-'80s for a couple of years. And since then, the grocery store that was next door took over that land and plowed that restaurant down. Now they got extra parking over there, and where they can put their dumpsters and everything.
Yeah.
And
the dumpsters where the restaurant was.
yeah.
That's fun.
I mean, when I worked at they always, there's always certain dates where they ask you, where were you? And when that the Challenger exploded back in January of 1986, that's where I was working. I was working the counter there, and somebody came through the drive-through and said, hey, did you guys hear about this? And yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad day.
Yeah.
Frosted mug root beer. Now,
okay,
we used to have an A&W by us, too.
We used to have A&W. Oh, yeah, we had A&W until the poor guy couldn't afford the franchise licensing anymore.
And then it was basically the same food, only under a different name for like a year or two, and then he closed it.
He eventually closed it. That drive-thru's been up for sale. I mean, that was a cornerstone of the Talmadge community, was the A&W.
Talmadge has laws about, there are ordinances in Talmadge about how you have to behave at a drive-in restaurant, just for A&W.
Because the kids...
There's a law here that says that if you pull into the parking lot of a restaurant, you have to order food or something like that.
Yeah.
In other words, you're not allowed to just drive in and drive out.
Yeah,
because people used to cruise
the drive-ins. That's a young person tradition. You get your license, you hop in your car, or back then they had the muscle cars.
Like most of them were like convertibles and stuff.
Oh yeah, going through. I mean, you're checking out. All the high school kids.
Who's there?
Yeah, who's working, and that was the thing.
I mean, there was a time you couldn't get a spot there sometimes on a Friday night. If you did get a spot, it was a half hour wait for food.
That stuff was good, and they had the root beer.
And then there was an A&W in Warren area, like Warren Youngstown area. And I remember going there one day back in the 90s, and it wasn't like a drive-in. You'd actually go in and order the food. Mm-hmm. So I went in and I ordered my Papa Burger, my fries, and my medium root beer, which was the largest one you get in a mug. And I expected him to hand me a root beer. No, you know what he does? He reaches into a freezer, hands me a frosty mug, and points at a tap. Like, oh, dude. And then I went back years later. I went back and tried to find it, and it must have been like gone and torn down because I knew what road it was on. I just didn't know where it was on this road, and I never found it again. So it must have closed up.
Yeah, in fact, even now we have some mugs around here. Those glass mugs, and when I wash it, I just stick it in the freezer because in the evening he likes to take out his frosted mug and put his little drinks in there.
Well, I put my water in there, which is just like sparkly water.
Yeah.
And so it takes 2 of these cans, and then I'll squirt some like orange or grape flavor in there, and it's like drinking orange or grape pop. But I don't drink The only one place I go where I drink root beer is Culver's.
Culver's.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I rarely ever drink pop.
It's a good thing we don't have a Culver's in town.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, no, Jane, we still have some A&Ws around here, but they're not.
I think there's one in
not
Kent,
as many as there used
right
to
on
be.
Route 59 in
Yeah,
Kent.
and then there's one up in Ravenna still, I think.
Yeah.
On the same road, just further up.
But you have to take a drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they used to be all over the place around here.
Yeah, but that root beer was good. I mean, you could feel yourself developing the diabetes as you were drinking
Yeah.
it. Because that basically was root beer,
it was good.
water, carbonation, and sugar. Oh, but it was good. Oh, man. That was what we always used to do when spring would show up. That was always, every community has like their first sign that spring's here.
Mm-hmm.
For us in Talmadge is when A&W would open. That was the sign of spring was coming.
Yeah.
And everybody
But they would close it like right after Labor Day. They'd close. I always wondered why they
because he wanted to get down
wouldn't
to Florida.
stay open like another month.
Yeah, he did open like around the
But they would open towards the end of February.
Yeah.
So like you can go there in March and with a foot of snow on the ground, but you can't go. Whatever.
I think he just wanted to get to Florida because he only stayed up here for the season. He was a snowbird.
Yeah. Well, Sweet Ray says there's no Culver's where she is. So when she comes to town, we'll go to Arthur Treacher's for lunch, and then Culver's is actually technically on the same road, just like 20 miles up. Not 20 miles
north.
Probably 12 or 15 miles north.
Oh my God. But yeah.
Lenny, good night. Hope you're feeling okay.
Hope you're feeling good, Lenny. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for buying. We appreciate you.
Well, I mean, it's 9 o'clock.
Gosh,
It's about time for us
we're
to
just sitting here talking
goodnight
about
to
old
everybody.
restaurants. You guys, we appreciate all of you. How many? Do we get that number?
And we don't have a number. We can't tell how many.
Yeah.
Unless it's somewhere. Oh, there it is. 81. Upper right hand corner.
We thank you guys so much for taking an hour out of your Saturday nights to visit us, and you guys take care, stay cool, and we got a holiday coming up on Friday, so enjoy the holiday. Watch out for fireworks. Take care of your pets, and we will be back here next Saturday night on Conkys Flippin Adventures. You guys take care. Thank you.
Good night.
That's Eddie saying good night.